What's up, everybody? My name is Randy. Of course, you're watching the 5.5 Garage, and today I will show you how to replace the window regulator on a 2013 Honda Civic. So, if you have been following my Instagram, and you should be following my Instagram, you know that Amy had an issue with her 2013 Honda Civic. The driver's door window regulator had an issue, and I was able to repair it by straightening it out, but ultimately it's going to need to be replaced. So that is what we're going to do today. Since I am replacing the window regulator, I ordered one from a company called Dorman. They make OEM replacements, which makes this a simple remove and replace procedure. As well, I ordered up a new set of window clips. I noticed that one of the clips was broken, which caused the window to get off of alignment, and I believe that contributed to the window regulator getting all twisted up. So you can do this with standard hand tools. It doesn't take a lot of fancy procedures or anything. You just have to remove the door card and peel back the plastic that allows you access to the innards of the door and removing the window regulator. I'm gonna get started on that, and I will show you guys every step of the process. Here we are. We got our driver's side door panel, and this is the first thing we gotta remove. First, we're gonna start with removing this switch panel, and then we should be able to just pull up on the edges of the door card to get it off. Keep in mind there is a Phillips head screw in here that you're going to have to remove, so keep that in mind. I don't want you guys to start yanking on this thing, because chances are you will break the plastic clip that is holding this in with that screw. Once you get the switch cover up, you will notice there's two connections. This one there has a little clip that you push down and push back, and then this will pop open. It's kind of hard to do wearing gloves, but there we go. And then that one should pop out like that. And then this one has another little clip that you push in, and once you get that loose, you can just set this to the side. And right here is the Phillips head screw I was telling you about. Go ahead and remove that now, so it makes it easier when you lift up on this and it can all just come off in one piece. Now that the screw's out and everything's out of the way, you should be able to just pull up on the edges of this door card, and it should pop out pretty easily. I have a trim tool that I'm going to use to help facilitate that process, because I do not want to damage any of the plastic clips that retain this on the door. So this is the innards of the door. You will have to peel back this plastic weather barrier to be able to get access to the interior of the door and to the window regulator. At this point, I am going to highly recommend you wear plastic gloves, because this black goop nonsense, whatever they use to stick this on here, is an absolute nightmare to get out of your skin and your clothing. So number one, make sure when you're doing this to wear some rather crappy work clothing that you really don't care about. Two, wear gloves, because this stuff gets everywhere. So right now I have the window in the up position, and I need to lower it down enough to be able to get to the hardware so I can remove the glass and then remove the window regulator. So I'm going to put the switch back up, lower the window down to the point where I can see, I can get to all the bolts, and at that point we'll start with the disassembly. Okay, there are two, you can't see it in this shot, but there's two little rubber clips. Here goes one right here. You have to pop these out in order to be able to get this plastic cover piece to kind of fold over. Like I said, be careful, because it's got this nasty black goop stuff all over it, and it gets everywhere. But you can just pop these out pretty easily. You can use a screwdriver or a trim tool. You just get in behind it and and it pops out. And that is what they look like. Put these to the side somewhere. You will need to reuse these. So as you can see, these are going to be all of the bolts that we need to take out. The window regulator, this is the connection to the motor, this is the regulator itself, and that's what's connected to the window. And what happens is when you push down to push the window down, this motor turns and it pulls on this arm, which causes the window to go down. You push up, the motor goes a different direction, and then it lifts the window up. What happened was there's clips on the window that hold it into the track, and one of the clips broke, causing the window to go off track. And when she let the window down, it slid down, but when she tried to raise the window up, it was off alignment, and this arm in here on the window regulator got bent and twisted, and then that jammed up, and that's what broke it. Now, I said earlier on an Instagram video, I was able to remove this and pop it out and straighten it back out, but since it's so twisted and this sees a lot of use, I just wanted to go ahead and replace it. So the next thing I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to hook the switch back up, drop the window down a little bit so I can get to the bolts so I can pull the window out. Now that I have the window down, the next step I need to do is to unbolt the window clips from the window regulator so I can lift the window out. Window clips are held in by two 10mm bolts. There's one right here, and there's another one on this end that you can't see, but it's there, trust me. But this is the broken one, so I won't show that one. But you need to remove this bolt here, and then you should be able to just lift the window up and pull it out of the window track. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove this bolt, and then I will widen out the shot so you guys can see how the window comes out. Now that we got the glass out of the way, the next step is to remove the window regulator itself. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10mm bolts to remove, and then don't forget to disconnect the motor right here, and then you should be able to rotate the window regulator down, and it should come out of this area over here. And the old window regulator is out. Now I'm going to show you guys the difference between this one and the new one, because I have to transfer this motor over to the new regulator. Here we are at the workbench. This is the old window regulator. This is the new window regulator. And as you can see, as a replacement part, it is exactly identical to the OEM part. What we have to do now is take this motor and disconnect it from here and attach it onto the new one. And what you want to do to try to get as close as possible is count the teeth that are visible and then match it on this one. Now on this one, I'm at 14 teeth at the top, I'm at 12 teeth at the bottom. So I went ahead and got this to 14 teeth on the top, 12 teeth on the bottom, to try to make it so when I put this back in, everything will line up and work properly. So removing this is pretty simple. You're just going to need to get a Allen head wrench to get these off, and it's just a simple remove and replace. This is the motor disconnected from the window regulator, and to give you guys a heads up, these bolts in fact are not Allen head bolts. They're actually Torx bolts, and the bit you will need is a T25 Torx bit to get these out. Now I'm getting ready to reassemble the new window regulator, and the thing I want to bring up is Since these will be attached to the motor and it's vibrating, make sure that when you go to attach the motor to the new window regulator, you use some blue Loctite to make sure that these bolts are not going to back out. I now have the motor connected to the new window regulator. I have tightened down all these T25 Torx bolts. I used thread locker to ensure that they will not back themselves out. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach the clips to the window regulator. And I believe the culprit of the beginning of this whole issue was that one of the bolts had backed out of the window clip, causing this whole thing to happen. So when I attach these new window clips, I'm going to use thread locker on the nuts and bolts as well to ensure that they don't back out, and hopefully I will not have to take this back apart to fix this again. The new window regulator is completed. I have the new clip on for the front. The motor has been attached and everything is torqued down. This is ready to be put into the car. I'm going to leave the rear clip that's already on the glass to make it easier to set this in place, and then I will tighten that one down in the door with the Loctite when I go to reassemble everything. Here we are back with the new completed window regulator. I have the motor in position. I counted the teeth to make sure everything lined up when I put this back on, so we're good there. I have our new front window clip here, and all I need to do now is install this in the car, slide the window back in, line up the rear clip, and secure that with some Loctite on the bolts, make sure it's not going to back out again, and then it should be an easy thing to wrap up. Window is now back on track. Have the regulator clips tightened down. Everything's tightened down. Now comes the moment of truth to make sure that all this stuff's going to work before I put this door panel back on. Oh, that's the goodness, people. Door panel's back on. Everything has been tightened down, buttoned down, popped back into place. Now to give it the final check. Once you got everything buttoned up, go ahead, make sure to check and ensure that the window can go up and down freely. You want to be able to check for any problems before they can happen, before you leave your garage. That way it makes the fix a lot easier. But in a nutshell, that is how you repair and remove and replace a window regulator on a car. If you guys learned something today, make sure to leave me a like on the video, as well as smash subscribe. You never know what car I'm going to be working on this channel, so you want to ensure that you will see every video the minute that it drops. So for now, we get into the late evening. Amy has been sitting on the sideline all day and she's waiting to drive her car again, so I'm going to go ahead, wrap this up, and I will see you guys on the next one.